Hello, this is my video on basically how to do backyard roll forming. You know, commercial edition, gangster style. I don't know. How you do it, but so basically we load the coil up here on this thing right here. We put it right here, and then the machine comes in right here and grabs the coil, and basically goes out there and tracks it. Then we track it all the way back to over here after we finish loading it. After we get it loaded, we come through here and decoils, and then basically feed into the machine. And this is a I'm assuming 1970, 1980 backyard roll former. Roll former. I call it backyard roll former, but it was manufactured in Sherman, Texas, and I think it was one of the ones that Mueller used to use because the problem was of defective coils they used to have back in the 70s and 80s. So instead of having like a Chinese roll former, what they do is have different casters that basically produce in. This gangster thing right here uses basically shopping cart wheels to basically roll form. And here's your wheel system in here, and then it goes to basically these little things, these bearings right here, and it tunes down everything else like that. Then you have the dies in here are cassettes, they call them, and it uses basically a sprocket system, number 60 chain, and pillow bearings that go through the whole entire machine. And what happened is it feeds in this side right here, and it comes through, runs, and goes through all the dies, and basically goes on down and then and crunches, as it goes. Basically, you have a die system that it's a progression die. Basically, progression dies comes on down. And here, what happened was originally the machine everything was actually electric. The shear was electric. We converted everything into hydraulic, and then I made this. Basically, put a hydraulic pumping system on this thing. This is off actually a Mack truck, a garbage truck of some sort, and we basically just piped it in with a Lovejoy coupler right here to snap it in together. And when I first got this thing, it had a big 3-phase, 40 horsepower electric motor, but mechanical is versus hydraulic. Hydraulic is basically one mechanical horsepower for 4 hydraulic, so you could do the math on that. And you don't really have to have that much power to basically do it. Then we basically, we have it in here. It basically makes power and goes to this hydraulic pump I bought off eBay it was like $400, $500, and then we converted it all out. We run it off of forklift controls right here. That's pretty much the whole entire system. And then we're sitting here running off forklift controls. This is actually off a forklift, a Clark forklift or whatever. And then it gets brought in, then I'll show you the system, how it brings it in. Basically run to a VFD, and then the VFD single phase brings it to 3-phase and powers the whole thing out. And how we're doing it right now is we have it all kind of rigged up where you can sit there and see we have a linear wheel that basically we do is you pull down your system, and it does it. What it does is feeds your metal through the machine, and also what it does at the same time, it basically does the encoder wheel. The encoder wheel's on the other side. Come on, let's get a video of that. Get the video of it. I'm not the best when it comes to explaining stuff, but I got some. It is all, this is the encoder wheel that you basically has on here, and it basically feeds the whole thing in right here. It's just basically a pillow system and a die system that, goes to the whole machine. The profile, basically what it makes is a board and batten panel rib, you know what I mean, through the whole machine. It does really good right now. We just haven't producing actually a ton of metal for what we got, and we're getting better and better roll forming with it, but we did a PLC system built for it, and then pretty much it's just basically a whole entire set of number 60 chains go through the whole entire system, and it runs on the pillow bearings and 1/2-inch shafts and everything else like that. So it's not there, but we need a PLC system built for it. So basically, metal comes through, hits the encoder wheel. You guys can see what you got, and then what happens is the shear. The shear basically does is the shear comes down and slices the metal. And then we usually have 2 limit switches, limit up and limit down. So mechanically runs the motor over here, which is solenoid, could be probably solenoid 1. This is for the PLC system we're trying to set up. You have one for the solenoid one is going to be for the motor, forward and reverse. And then your second one is going to be your hydraulic. Your other solenoid is going to be for your upwards and down. And you have basically a limit switch here and a limit switch up, you know. And then what it is it throws solenoid one, which basically feeds into the roll former. Then it comes here, and then basically it's the contact is going to be hitting for the upper limit switch. And then it's going to throw it down. And, you know, you put your input in, and then basically what it does, it feeds it in, and then when it feeds it in, it tells you how many feet and everything else that come out of it, and then it stops. Basically, the sensor upper limit switch is touched, then it throws solenoid one down, and after it touches the bottom switch, it comes solenoid back up, and then it does feed your panel through you know, and that's pretty much how the backyard roll former works. So.